Picture this. You are walking into a massive warehouse. The air smells like rotisserie chicken and industrial floor cleaner. You grab that $1.50 hot dog combo because it feels like the ultimate main character move. You think it is corporate altruism. You think Costco is your quirky, budget-friendly best friend. The Kirkland signature halo has you convinced that this is quality for the masses. With those happy employees in their red vests and a 90% renewal rate, it is not just a store. It is a religion for the middle class. But here's the thing, logos are just expensive masks. While you are busy counting your savings on bulk toilet paper, Costco is running a high-stakes subscription game that looks more like a financial service than a retailer. In 2024, they finally hiked the entry tax for the first time in 7 years. Why? Because without your $65, the entire $250 billion machine just grinds to a halt. You are getting ratioed by a membership fee and you do not even know it. It is a total skill issue if you believe the low prices are a gift. In reality, you are just paying for the privilege to spend more money. Let's look past the branding and find the untold story of Costco Wholesale. Let us talk about the math that keeps the lights on at your favorite warehouse. Most people think Costco is a retail giant that sells bulk jars of pickles and giant teddy bears. They think the money is made when you swipe your card at the checkout for that $1,000 television or a year's supply of laundry detergent. That is a common skill issue. In the world of high finance and corporate strategy, Costco is not a store. It is a gated community. It is a club that happens to have a very large pantry. To understand the real Costco, we have to look at the 2024 annual report, also known as the SEC 10K. This is where the mask slips. In fiscal year 2024, Costco reported a net income of $7.4 billion. That sounds like a lot of profit from selling goods, right? Wrong. In that same period, their membership fee revenue was $4.8 billion. Do the math. Approximately 65% of their total net profit comes from the simple act of you paying for the permission to walk through their doors. This is the ultimate corporate gaslighting. While other retailers like Walmart or Target are out there trying to squeeze a 24% gross margin out of every item they sell, Costco is playing a completely different game. Their gross margin sits at a razor-thin 11%. When you account for the cost of running those massive warehouses and paying their staff, they are essentially selling you products at cost. They are not making money on the milk, they are not making money on the tires. They are making money on your loyalty. They have convinced you that paying $65 or $130 a year is a smart financial move. It is a classic main character energy trap. You feel like a savvy insider because you are getting a deal on a 5-gallon bucket of mayonnaise, but you already paid the entry tax before you even grabbed a cart. Why does this matter? Because it changes how Wall Street looks at the company. If you look at the stock market today, Costco is trading at a price-to-earnings ratio of over 50. To put that in perspective, that is higher than many of the big tech giants in Silicon Valley. Most traditional retailers trade at a price-to-earnings ratio of 15 or 20. So why is Costco valued like a software company? It is because they have turned shopping into a subscription service. Investors do not care about how many rotisserie chickens you buy. They care about the 90% renewal rate. They care about the recurring revenue that hits the balance sheet every single year like clockwork. Costco has successfully branded itself as an essential utility for the middle class. You might cancel your Netflix, but you are not going to cancel your access to the Kirkland Kingdom. In September 2024, they raised the membership fees for the first time in 7 years. The Gold Star fee went from $60 to $65, and the executive membership jumped from $120 to $130. The media called it an inflation adjustment, but that is a major cope. This was a calculated move to satisfy the hunger of the investors. When your stock is priced at 50 times earnings, you have to keep the growth engine humming. If the membership growth slows down, the entire valuation collapses. This is why you see the staff at the entrance checking cards so aggressively lately. They are not just stopping shoplifters, they are protecting the integrity of the subscription model. They are stopping the account sharing just like a streaming service would. Costco has created a cult of smart spending. They make you feel like you are part of an elite group that knows the secret to beating the system. But the system is the membership itself. They have created a psychological environment where you feel obligated to shop there just to earn back the cost of the membership. You walk in for one item and walk out with a $300 bill, feeling like you won. That is not a win, that is a common Costco L. You are subsidizing their rock-bottom prices with your upfront capital. You are providing them with billions of dollars in pure profit before they even sell a single item. It is a brilliant financial machine, but let us call it what it is. It is a tax on the middle-class desire for a bargain. They have gamified the grocery store, and the house always wins because you paid for the seat at the table. If you think about it, the products are just the loot boxes of this game. The real product is the card in your wallet. That little piece of plastic is what drives the $7.4 billion in profit. Without it, Costco would be just another struggling retailer in a dying industry. But with it, they are an unstoppable force of recurring revenue. They have successfully shifted the risk from the company to the consumer. Whether the economy is booming or in a recession, those membership fees keep rolling in. It is a beautiful business model if you are a shareholder, but as a consumer, you have to ask yourself, are you a member of a club or are you just a recurring revenue stream for a company that has masterfully branded its way into your soul? If the membership fee is the entry tax to the Kirkland Kingdom, then the $4.99 rotisserie chicken is the sacred idol we all worship. It is the stuff of internet legends. It is a meme. It is the reason you walk past 3 miles of televisions and outdoor furniture just to reach the very back of the warehouse. For over a decade, that price tag has stayed frozen at $4.99. In a world of rampant inflation where a basic sandwich costs $15, this golden bird feels like a miracle. You think to yourself, how do they do it? You think Costco is taking a loss just to make you happy. You call it a loss leader. But in the world of behind the logo, we call it a blood sacrifice. This is not corporate charity. This is a cold, calculated exercise in vertical integration that would make a 19th century oil tycoon blush. Let's look at the mechanics of this $4 bird. For a long time, Costco bought their chickens from the big players like Tyson or Purdue. But those guys wanted to make a profit too. And in the world of Costco, the $4.99 price point is a holy commandment that cannot be broken. So around 2019, Costco decided to stop being a customer and start being the predator. They built their own massive poultry complex in Fremont, Nebraska, called Lincoln Premium Poultry. We are talking about a $450 million investment designed to process over 2 million chickens every single week. That is 100 million birds a year. They control everything. They control the genetics, they control the feed, they control the farmers, and they control the slaughter. This is where the main character energy of the brand meets the grim reality of industrial farming. To keep that price at $4.99, Costco has created a system that is, frankly, a horror show. According to reports from Farm Forward and Legal Impact for Chickens in late 2025, the cost of your cheap dinner is measured in suffering. We are talking about 7.2 million birds that die every year before they even reach the slaughterhouse. That is not a typo. 7.2 million chickens are so stressed, so sick, or so poorly handled that they drop dead in the barns or the transport trailers. In one specific incident, 2,000 chickens froze to death in a single trailer because of the equipment failure and a total lack of oversight. That is a massive skill issue on a corporate level, but to them it is just a rounding error in the pursuit of a low price. And it is not just the birds, it is your health too. USDA data recently showed that the Fremont plant received Category 3 Salmonella ratings. For those who do not speak government jargon, Category 3 is the absolute worst. It means the facility consistently fails to meet the minimum standards for controlling salmonella. While the Costco PR team is gaslighting you with images of clean farms and happy farmers, the actual data suggests a filthy, high-speed assembly line where speed is prioritized over safety. They are breeding these birds to grow so fast and so large that their legs often snap under their own weight. They are biological machines designed to produce breast meat at the lowest possible cost. The legal system is finally starting to notice. In 2025, Costco faced a massive shareholder derivative lawsuit. The irony is delicious. The shareholders weren't just sad about the chickens. They were worried that the animal welfare violations would hurt the brand and the stock price. They argued that the board of directors was ignoring the blatant cruelty and the environmental damage in Nebraska just to protect that $4.99 price point. The lawsuit revealed that the runoff from these massive chicken houses is choking local waterways with nitrates. Costco is effectively subsidizing your dinner by offloading the environmental and ethical costs onto the people of Nebraska and the birds themselves. Because that chicken is a tractor beam. But why do they do it? Why go through all this trouble for a chicken? It is the ultimate psychological anchor. Once you have that warm plastic container in your cart, you feel like you have already won the game of capitalism. You think, I just got a whole dinner for $5, I am so smart. And because you feel so smart, your guard goes down. You are much more likely to spend $300 on a Dyson vacuum or a year's supply of luxury vitamins on your way out. The chicken is the bait in a very large, very expensive trap. Costco knows that if they ever raised the price to $6, the spell would be broken. The cult would start to question the logic, so they maintain the illusion of the $4.99 bird through a system of brutal efficiency and vertical integration that hides the true cost from the consumer. It is a ratio that doesn't add up in the natural world. A living, breathing creature raised, slaughtered, cooked, and packaged for less than the price of a fancy coffee. That is not a bargain, that is a systemic failure. So the next time you are standing in that long line at the back of the warehouse, waiting for the next batch of birds to come out of the oven, take a look at the logo. Remember the 7.2 million dead birds. Remember the Category 3 salmonella. Remember that in this game, if the product seems too good to be true, it is because someone else, or something else, is paying the difference in blood. Don't be the person who gets ratioed by a rotisserie chicken. Stay sharp and realize that the $4.99 price tag is just the cost of keeping you in the building long enough to take the rest of your money. If you want to find the real king of the warehouse, do not look at the CEO office. Look at the black and red label that is on everything from your vodka to your golf balls. Kirkland Signature. It is not just a private label, it is a $50 billion empire. To put that in perspective, that is a bigger annual revenue than Nike or Coca-Cola. Kirkland is the ultimate main character of the retail world. It has achieved a level of brand loyalty that most luxury fashion houses would kill for. People do not just buy Kirkland because it is cheap. They buy it because they have been conditioned to believe it is the same as the name brand, just without the fancy marketing. But here is the tea. That quality comes at a price that the suppliers have to pay in blood. Costco is a master of the dupe culture. They take a premium product, figure out who makes it, and then they give that supplier an ultimatum. Either you make this for us under the Kirkland label for 30% less, or we kick your original brand off our shelves forever. It is a total join us or die energy. In 2025, we saw this play out with a massive lawsuit from Lululemon. They claimed Costco was selling dupe replicas that were so similar they were essentially intellectual property theft. But Costco does not care. They have the leverage. If you are a brand and you are not in the warehouse, you are missing out on millions of loyal shoppers. So most brands just fold. They surrender their profit margins to the Kirkland monarchy. It is a total ratio for the suppliers, and Costco is the one doing the ratioing. But the most carefully guarded secret of the Kirkland cult is the people wearing the red vests. For decades, Costco has been the gold standard for how to treat employees. They paid more than Walmart, they had better benefits. They were the good guys of capitalism. But lately, the vibe check is coming back negative. If you spend 5 minutes on the r/Costco subreddit, you will see a very different story from the glossy PR brochures. Ever since the leadership transition to Ron Vacris, the culture has shifted. The veteran workers are sounding the alarm. They are talking about a cold, hard focus on metrics that is replacing the old family atmosphere. It is a classic case of corporate gaslighting. The company still tells the world that their employees are their greatest asset, while internal reports suggest they are slashing hours to the bone to keep that tech-level price-to-earnings ratio high. We are seeing a massive burnout in the night crews. These are the people who stock the shelves while you are sleeping so the warehouse looks perfect when the doors open at 10 a.m. But now, management is pushing merchandising efficiency to a dangerous level. In many locations, workers are being forced to use forklifts to stock freezers and heavy pallets while members are still in the building. It is a safety disaster waiting to happen. It is a total L for employee safety just to save a few bucks on labor costs. The night merch crew is being pushed to the brink of exhaustion. They are expected to do more work with fewer people in less time. When they complain, they are told it is a skill issue, but you cannot skill your way out of a staffing shortage. This is a systemic choice by the new leadership to prioritize the stock price over the people. They are chasing that 50 times earnings valuation, and that means every single second of labor has to be squeezed for maximum profit. The family vibe that the founders built is being replaced by the same cold, algorithmic management you see at Amazon. Even the long-term managers are feeling the pressure. They are being forced to enforce strict productivity goals that ignore the reality of the physical labor involved. They are cutting corners on maintenance. They are ignoring the little things that made Costco special. Because Wall Street is a hungry beast. And why? If Costco wants to keep its premium valuation, it has to prove it can grow its margins even further. And since they refuse to raise prices on the products because of their brand promise, they have to find the money somewhere else. They find it in the sweat and the sanity of their workforce. So when you see that smiling worker at the checkout, remember the ratio they are dealing with behind the scenes. They are working in a high-pressure environment where the Kirkland Way has become a mandate for absolute compliance. The company has created a beautiful illusion of a happy workplace, but the cracks are starting to show. The main character energy of the Kirkland brand is being fueled by the burnout of thousands of workers who are being told to do more with less. It is the dark side of the warehouse. It is the cost of your smart shopping that you do not see on the receipt. Costco is no longer just a store with a soul. It is a hyper-efficient machine that is slowly grinding down the very people who built its reputation. So here we are at the end of the aisle. We have peeled back the Kirkland signature sticker and found something much colder and more calculated than a friendly neighborhood warehouse. It is time for the final verdict. Costco is the undisputed heavyweight champion of corporate gaslighting. They have performed a masterclass in psychological manipulation that would make a cult leader jealous. They have convinced millions of people that paying an annual tax for the right to buy 30 pounds of flour and a gallon of mayonnaise is not just a choice. It is a privilege. It is a badge of honor for the middle class. They have wrapped their entire business model in the warm embrace of the $1.50 hot dog combo, using it as a shield to deflect any real criticism of their massive profit engine. Let's look at the ledger one last time. When you see that $7.4 billion in net profit for 2024, do not be fooled into thinking they are just really good at selling groceries. Remember the $4.8 billion in membership fees. That is the core of the machine. Without those $65 and $130 payments, Costco is essentially a break-even operation. They are a financial service company that uses rotisserie chickens and bulk toilet paper as bait to keep their subscribers locked in. They are not fighting for you. They are fighting for the renewal rate. Because as long as that renewal rate stays at 90%, Wall Street will continue to value them at 50 times their earnings. That is a total tech giant valuation for a company that sells physical boxes. It is a bubble built on the belief that the Costco cult will never stop growing. But as we have seen, that growth comes with a horrific price. The 7.2 million chickens that die in agony every year before they even reach the slaughterhouse are the hidden subsidy for your cheap dinner. The Category 3 salmonella ratings and the environmental degradation in Nebraska are the true costs that never show up on your receipt. You think you are getting a deal, but you are actually just offloading the ethical and environmental debt onto a system that is designed to hide it from you. It is a common Costco L that we all participate in because the branding is just that good. We want to believe in the myth of the good corporation, so we ignore the blood on the warehouse floor. And the rot is spreading to the people inside the red vests, too. The shift from the legacy leadership of Jim Sinegal to the cold metrics of the Ron Vacris era is the final sign that the family vibe was always a temporary marketing strategy. The burnout of the night crews and the dangerous practice of stocking freezers with forklifts while shoppers are in the building are not just accidents. They are the logical conclusion of a company that is trying to squeeze every last drop of productivity out of its workers to justify a massive stock price. It is a total skill issue on the part of the management to think they can maintain the brand's soul while treating their employees like interchangeable parts in a machine. Costco has created a world where you feel like the main character because you found a dupe of a luxury brand for $20. But in reality, you are just a data point in a very expensive experiment. They are tracking your habits, they are checking your card at the door, and they are raising your fees whenever Wall Street gets a little bit hungry. You are not a member of an elite club, you are a recurring revenue stream. You are the product being sold to the investors. The hot dog is not a gift. The rotisserie chicken is not a miracle. They are anchors designed to keep you from floating away to a competitor. They are the bread and circuses of the modern retail world, designed to keep the masses happy while the empire extracts billions in pure profit from their loyalty. If you want to be a savvy consumer, you have to stop looking at the logo and start looking at the ledger. You have to realize that the savings you find in the warehouse are often just a reallocation of your own money and someone else's suffering. Not necessarily. So what is the move? Do we stop shopping there? But we must stop being fans. We must stop being part of the cult. Treat Costco for what it is, a cold, hyper-efficient financial machine that happens to sell groceries. Use them for what they are worth, but don't let them gaslight you into thinking they are your friend. Don't let the branding blind you to the reality of the 52 times price-to-earnings ratio and the millions of dead birds. In the end, the only way to win this game is to know the rules. And now you know exactly how the game is played. Stay sharp and stay informed. Remember, knowledge is your only leverage in this game. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to join our community. This was Behind the Logo, and I'll catch you on the flip side.